So you loaded up some Splitgate 2, played some maps, but then you thought, what if? Well, I'm here to make that what if a map. This is part 1 prologue. This is just the mechanics, how to do everything, what these menus do. And then part 2, at this timestamp right here, is going to be where we actually start on the map building. Shift and click makes it so you can select more than one thing. T is test mode, which means you can spawn in as a villager without starting a game mode. And you can still see all the invisible stuff. Then escape is menu. Map settings currently does not work. I don't know why. Right click makes it so you can move around. And then while holding right click, you can use WASD to move. Right click and E or Q is up and down. And you can use scroll wheel to adjust flight speed. And you still have control C, control V for pasting, and control Z for undoing. Delete del on your numpad is delete. Alright, so next we move on to the catalog. Here you got stuff, 4 different categories. You got biomes, which is just like detailing and background pieces like this. Like this, for instance, is huge and it doesn't have collision. That's just something that you put in the background. Then, next you have decals. This is like 2D, almost like sprays that you can just put somewhere. You have building, you got portals, primitives, decorative pieces, props, which are pretty similar to the decorative pieces, structure, and simulation. So, simulation has a lot of stuff that's pretty similar to primitives, except it just looks cooler. That's basically the only difference between the two. And also, when you shoot these, you get like glitch particles. Primitive's pretty simple. It's just simple shapes. Decorative pieces. Got props. And then you got structures, which has a lot of stuff similar to primitives, but slightly different style. And you also have more complicated stuff like windows. And then you got simulation. Next, you have 3 buttons up here, which when you place down blocks, this one makes it so you can move stuff around by either using one axis by grabbing the arrows, 2 axes by grabbing the faces, or you can grab this right here and have all 3 axes of movement. Then you got rotation, similar thing to translate. Something I like to do is set it to selection center instead of last pivot. Yeah, this rotates, pretty simple. Then you have scale. Again, you just use the different axes to scale, or you can use all of them at once. Next we have tools, which has basically all 3 of these in this. So you got transform, which is moving it. Got rotation on each of the axes, and then you have scale on each of the axes. But you also have material color in a lot of them. Makes it so you can change the material color. One thing that I did skip over earlier is gameplay, because this has stuff like these. Each of these are like hot zone points or domination points. Well, that's a hot zone point again. There you go, domination. You also got split ball spawns, and then you actually have player spawns. And the way that you tell the different team player spawns separate is the team ID. This is team 1, this is team 0. And then over on objects, you have a lot of fun stuff like invisible blocks. I use these in a lot of my builds. So invisible blocks, something weird with them though, is You see how this isn't touching the edge here? You can still walk on this part even though it's not here because the visible area is actually only half of the actual size. So even though it says like 5, it's showing 5 across, but not 5 on this side and 5 on this side. Yeah, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only showing 5 when it should be showing 10. And then you have stuff like this, damage over time. This one instantly kills you. This is an out of bounds. And unwalkable basically turns any surface that it covers in ice, but only the surface that it covers. So you can see over here, it's normal. Then over here, it's ice. And while you're on ice, you can't get your boost back. This should be the only other thing that has something besides color down here. This is how to change the distance and speed that this thing is going at. So you can change the arc percentage, and you can also up the power. If you up the power a lot, but make the arc percentage really high, it shoots you really fast and straightforward. So that's something that I've used in my builds. There's going to be a future video on how to make this launch tower that I made earlier. Pretty fun. Now it's for the actual map building part of the video. So, to start off, before you change anything here, something that I like to do is just keep all of the gameplay stuff, because that's already set up for you. And all you have to do is just move it around so it fits on your map correctly and looks good. But it's already sort of laid out for you, so you know the general locations that everything should be. So my idea for this map, I called it Drop Zone, is what I'm going to basically build the map around. When you have a map, you sort of want to get your idea for it before you start building the map. So I'll get this, center it, and then pull it out. And what I like to do with this is ungroup it and get rid of this, so it's just the portal part. Makes it so you can actually change this stuff. Because otherwise it just says that they're not the same, because they're different in the grouping. Then Control C, paste it, and then swap this to a negative value, which will put it on the exact opposite side. Except for one thing. Look, you can see that while I'm selecting it, the part that it's actually coming from is not dead center. And even when you set it to this, it's not actually the center that's this value. It is right here that this value is talking about. So this one is 9,600 away, right at this point. But over here, this point that's farther is negative 9,600 away, which means that it's actually this much area closer. That means that I actually have to move this extra. So now those are actually equal distance. It's kind of annoying that you have to do this. On some models it's better, like with decals. You can see that if we go up close, it's actually in the center, which is nice. So, yeah. I don't know why it's like that on some objects and not for all. So what I'm doing a lot here is I'm thinking about how this is going to work balance-wise. And with my map, I don't want them to go directly onto it. I want them to have to drop from there. And also, it would be unbalanced if they could go to the other team's side like this, because, well, they could just shoot the other team basically instantly. A lot of the map building is trying to make it balanced, unless you're just trying to make a party map that's just fun to play on. if you're doing that, I'd suggest that you focus a lot more on mechanics and making your map really fun and have lots of portal jumps and stuff. What I'm actually going to do here, a lot of making maps is also problem solving. Uh, with this, if I put this too close, it makes this red because it's telling me, hey, there's an object clipping in me. It's not really going to work if people try and make a portal right here. They'll get stuck in an object or something. There we go. So that wall is there. Now you cannot teleport to the enemy team's side. You can just teleport to your team's side. And boom, the basic idea of the map is done. If I were you, I'd make these walls actually look good. But this is just, again, for the tutorial. So once you have your map done, what I like to do is just hit setup for play, pick game mode, go down through the list, and just play around. You don't have to have like any enemies or teammates or anything. You can just do it solo. And make sure that all the spawn points for the different locations are set up right and that it's all working. Yeah, also I have to move, if I actually wanted this map to work, I'd have to move those spawn points over here and these ones over there. But again, I'm being lazy. This is just a tutorial. And now we're on to part 3. This is just fun little things that I've found while making maps. With decals, if you put them down, you can see that if you change the material color, they actually become sort of glowy, so you can have sort of an LED look, which is fun. You can mix that with something like this decal. You take something like that and you go to gameplay. You can mix that with like a block or a kill and sort of make it the out of bounds more fun. So now if I were to like, oh, so now if I were to go over here, it blocks me. So with the kill one, you actually have to scale it up. I forgot to do that because it doesn't work very well when it's small. It doesn't register you. Anyways, go over here and now it kills you. Or you can make that an out of bounds. Something that's actually done on one of the official maps, which I think is a pretty cool trick, is you can set up an angled platform and a platform that's really low. I'm gonna have to move this all into the sky for this to work, otherwise I'd be falling out of bounds and dying. But something that you can do with this is put a portal there, drop down, and then put a portal and you keep all your momentum, which is a pretty fun thing that you can put in your maps. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.